In this lesson, we're going to look at a really basic character movement, which you will probably use a lot moving forward, and that is the walking animation. So we're going to be creating a walk cycle, which the character that you see here is going to continuously take steps forward, and we're going to make this loop so we can add it onto a background and maybe make a landscape scene. We have 3 projects in the resource pack. We have Autumn Leaves, Autumn Park Background, and Character by Freepik. So this is our character. We have a background like this. I already color-coded everything, named the layers, and all that. And the Autumn Leaves is just a bunch of leaves that we're going to add on top of our scene as a final element. We don't really need to organize anything. And then we have our character, which is just the layers that make up the character stuff. And if you are planning on designing things yourself, make sure you keep the round joint in the body. Let me just show you what I mean. So this is the foot. First of all the limbs need to be separated. So this is the foot, and then lower right leg goes on top. And notice the knee is circle. So this circle needs to be the case for all the joints. So the knee needs to be a circle, the ankle that was right there needs to be a circle, the hip needs to be a circle, the elbow, shoulder, anything that is necessary for movement needs to be circle. Here we have upper right leg, again it's a circle, and then we have the hip, which is also a circle. So the hip makes the right leg, upper right leg complete. And then we have the neck. Let's come up here. We have the neck, and then we have the body separated. We have the back strap. This is just an additional accessory. The head, the hair, the bag itself. And then we have lower arm, which again, circle on the elbow. And then finally, we have upper arm. Also notice that we don't have, we only have one set of limbs. We only have one arm and one leg. That is because it's easier to finalize one of the arms and just duplicate it for the other arm. So we're going to fix the anchor points and all for the right arm and then duplicate right arm to make the left arm. It saves us some time. First of all, let's go ahead and just color code our layers, which will be easier to look at, just like this one. So if I know that I need to animate the bushes, I would only be working with the green layers. So select both arm layers, make these yellow. Anything related to the head, let's make it red. The bag needs to be another color. Body is independent. Neck is also a part of the head. Then we have leg layers, make that purple. And finally, we have another independent layer. So easily we just color coded our things. And now we have to connect the anchor points to their rightful positions. So let's start with upper arm. We're going to, there's a bunch of ways to do this. You can either guess where the connection point is, or you could just, let me turn off all the other layers for a second. You can just select both of those limbs, hit T, lower the opacity to find that connection point, which is the point in which the circle connects. So upper right arm connects to the, let's click away. Upper right arm connects to the body, so it just goes up there. But lower right arm needs to connect to that circle, because that's our elbow right now. It needs to bend at the elbow point. Then select them back, bring the opacity back. I didn't make the arm separate because we don't really need to focus on that, but you could definitely get a character that has a separate arm, and then you would do the same thing for the arm. So you would make the arm anchor point come to the wrist connection point. The bag doesn't need to connect to anything. We just want to bring the anchor point here because the movements will be done based off the body. The hair doesn't need to connect to anything. The head needs to connect to the neck, so just bring that below. The bag strap can stay as it is. The body needs to connect. Let's remove those. The body needs to connect to the hip, so bring hip. And if we select both, hit T and lower the opacity. Oh, we're doing it for the head. Do it for the body and the hip. You can see that there is a connection point right there. So on body, get your anchor point and put it in that dark area. And the hip stays independent, so it doesn't need to connect to anything. And then we have the leg to work with, so we can turn off body for a second, turn off hip, and turn on these layers. So lower leg, upper leg, foot, hit T, lower the opacity to find those connection points. Click away, get your anchor point tool and put this guy on that dark area that you see. Lower right arm goes on the knee. Upper right leg, we need the hip for this, so we can clearly see where we need to go. So this just goes on the hip, like so. And then we can just select all of these, bring back their opacity. All right, let's bring all of our layers back. And now the anchor points are in the right position, and this will just make a more smooth animation. So if I were to move upper right leg, you can see that it moves. First, let's connect it, and then I'll show you how the movement works. Now we need to parent them. So lower right arm connects to upper right arm, or you can use this drop down menu. Upper right arm connects to body. Back connects to body too, because she's holding it close to her body. Hair goes to the head. Head goes to the neck. Back strap goes to the back, because they're connected. Body goes to the hip. Neck goes to the body. Upper right leg, hip. Lower right leg, upper right leg. Right foot, lower right leg, and hip is just independent. Let's hit M on all of these. Now, because I first decided the right anchor point and then I connected the leg, if I hit R on upper right leg, you can see the leg moves in one piece, and it's moving at the right time. So it's moving according to the hip, and that's just a regular movement. So that's why we connected the layers and also set the right anchor points. All right, so for the foot, we actually don't want them to be connected. So hit none on foot. So everything is connected except for foot and hip. Okay, now that we did this, we can select all the leg layers, Control D. First, let's change the color to something else, orange. Oops. And then we can rename these layers to upper L leg for left leg. Just change the name. So because we already did the parenting and all on the right leg, we don't need to do this again for the left leg layers. We simply just duplicate it, and that's just a lot easier. Get all the left leg layers and bring it below everything. So below hip as well, because it's on the other side. Do the same thing for arm. Get both, Control D. Change the color. It's kind of blending in. Let's get blue. And just rename these layers. So this is upper L arm. This one is lower L arm. Again, we're going to bring these below everything because it's on the opposite side, even underneath the leg, because you can see the arm goes in front, but on the other side it would go behind. Okay, so we have that. Make sure that the parents are okay. Upper left arm, body, lower right arm. Make sure it's on upper L arm, not right arm. And check the same thing for the body. So L foot independent, upper L leg. Upper L leg goes to hip. All right, now that we checked everything, let me first show you the other project. We also did the same thing here, except we didn't parent anything. And now that we have our characters and our layers ready, we can go ahead and start animating. I'll see you guys in the next part.